Hello, Sports Recap fam. Here to talk to you today about my mid-season thoughts on UNC football. Clearly, this year's not going as well as we wanted it to be. We are 1-5 at the moment. A lot of things are going wrong, but I have a feeling that a lot of fans are pointing to the wrong things. And in general, there's a lack of patience in the fans. To me, years like this in sports across the board really test fans, to me, because fans who are quick to play the blame game and absolutely blame stuff and jump off the bandwagon, they show their colors. Were they fans to begin with? I don't know. Those are the fans you need to be worried about. Those are the bandwagon fans that people talk about. The minute something goes wrong, they jump ship, they're gone. And then you have the fans who stick it out, and we voice our concerns. Don't get it twisted. We're not happy when our team does terribly, and we'll voice our concerns. But the next time they play, we're rallying behind them once again. We stand behind them. There's not really a bandwagon to jump on. That was our team, ride or die. We were always with that team. So let's go. What's going on with UNC? Really, I think the biggest thing that I'm seeing this year is something we didn't see coming. The perception going into this year was that our offense was going to be dynamite, possibly even better than our offense last year. And our defense was going to be, we didn't know what to think of our defense, because last year's defense was not really good at all. And we expected more of the same this year. And to tell you the truth, this is not an opinion that a lot of people will say. I think a lot of the very smart fans are picking it up quickly. But I think a lot of fans are not onto it yet, but they're slowly getting to it. This year, that was bad. See, my voice is still kind of recovering from the Miami game last night, so bear with me. This year, the defense is carrying the offense. And it's strange saying that because our defense is not shutting everybody down. They're still allowing yards, really by the bunches at times. But when it's time to stand up, make a stand, and not allow touchdowns, our defense has done that. There were a couple drives in the first quarter where I thought Miami was going to punch the ball in because they got goal to go and they left with 3. Our defense also got 4 picks last night. So our defense came to play. The only game that I really was angry at the defense was ECU, because for the most part, they've done their job. Now, the fourth quarter collapses, I know a lot of people are like, oh, they collapsed in the fourth quarter. First of all, our defense we have injuries all over the place on defense. Our linebackers, oh my gosh, I think we have a former safety, and it's really crazy. Our linebackers, we don't have our real linebackers that we want to have in. But the people who are playing in the linebacker spot is doing a great job. We have a redshirt freshman, I think, and Dominique Green playing safety. He played his tail off last night. And, yeah, we just have all these injuries, and our defense plays in spite of that. Yeah, they're allowing yards by the bunches, but in 2013, it's not about the yards, it's about the points. You can have anything you want between the 20s. But if you're only kicking 3 or you get a 0, that's a win. In 2013, that's a win. That's a win. So our defense has made huge strides. On the flip side, on offense, there's been a lot of issues with our offense. They're not doing what we want. They show flashes, but there are just many things holding them back. Let's rehash a couple of them. One, execution. Sometimes execution is not crisp. Early on in the season and in moments of these later games, our offense doesn't execute what they're given. In execution, penalties and stuff, the false starts, all that, that's execution. We have a good drive, and the next thing you know, it's stunning, and we have to get off the field because we had a penalty that got us behind the chains. Can't do that. We just can't do that. Execution has been a problem this year, but it certainly isn't the only problem. It's also the personnel and personnel. I'm calling it 2 different things: personnel and coaching, but they both go back to the coaches. Personnel. coaching the team with the personnel you have. I think the coaches right now are still coaching our offense, are calling plays as if Gio's our running back. Like, I think they just call some up the middle runs that they expect to get like 10 or 20 yards. In Gio, yeah, you can get 10 or 20 yards. But with AJ Blue and company, it's not happening. Now, those running backs we have right now are trying their best they can, but they're not on Gio's level. Gio is like on a level by himself, so you can't expect every running back to be Gio. So this year, particularly offensively, the coaches, you got to earn your bucks. You got to adapt to the personnel you have. And I know Fedora is a run-first offense. Last night, it seemed to be a pass-first offense. And that's what this year's team is. This year's team is a pass-first offense. I don't know what next year's team is. This year's team, our best players are receivers. Tight ends, Eric Ebron, Quinshot Davis, TJ Thorpe, Sean Tapley, Ryan Switzer. See, I mean, that's pass-first offense. And when you do that, good things happen. Good things happened last night for the most part. And also coaching, calling plays, when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. And I think what the Fedora carries the stigma of being aggressive, but we've been extremely conservative in games, offensively. South Carolina, I don't remember seeing anything that was aggressive. Middle Tennessee was lethargic to me. That was the only win we got. That game to me was just lethargic. Like, I didn't really get anything from that. Virginia Tech, when Marquise stepped in and he had to play the entire game at quarterback, I thought Marquise played his heart out. I don't think he was put in ideal situations by the coaches to succeed. The dude can pass the ball, but we came out trying to rush first against Virginia Tech defense that held Georgia Tech to record lows. See, I'm still burned up because of that. That didn't make any sense to me. But I mean, it's adapting to the personnel and being aggressive in your play calling. Our offense being risky, taking risk, throwing long bombs, just a big box of plays. That's how we win games. We thought our offense was supposed to be the strength of our team, and I think our offense, the potential is there. So it's up for the coaches, like, really maximize the potential, really get to where we can be. Can we talk on that 3rd and 1 last night? The 3rd and 1 that got fired back to 3rd and 11. See, initially, 2 thoughts going into this. See, there's multiple thoughts like in all these things. Anyway, 4th quarter, our offense couldn't sustain a drive, so that's not a good thing. And our offense hasn't had a killer instinct all season long. So last night is not particularly on the offense, but it's noted we did not sustain a solid drive in the 4th quarter. Or Georgia Tech is another one. Those 2 games were just prime examples. The defense caves in because by the 4th quarter, they're already tired of stuff, and we don't have enough bodies on defense to keep rolling like we have been going for the first 3 quarters. It's time for the offense to close the games, and they haven't. Back to the 3rd and 1. Now, the 3rd and 1, coaches. That's on the coaches. Why? Because the ball, we saw with like 10 seconds left or something like that, and then you have to allow 3 seconds for the other teams to get their subs on. And when the clock was running out, nobody made a mention to call timeout. And people are like, yeah, Brent can call timeout. But Fedora sitting on the sideline or somebody's on the sideline, they can call timeout just as well. They saw the clock was going down. It was a 3rd and 1. And before you know it, 3rd and 1 turns to 3rd and 6. And then we get an offensive, I think it was a false start. And it's 3rd and 11. And we give the ball back to Miami. By the time we get the ball back, we are down 4 points with 16 seconds left. So, yeah, that's a coaching problem. That's a coaching problem. And the coaches got to get their stuff together. But, okay, now we're getting to the state of Fedora. There are people calling for his head. I am shocked that people are sitting here thinking that we should fire Fedora. because of what has happened this year. Now, I'll be the first to say some of the coaching decisions that were made, game management, etc., hasn't been the best. It's time for Fedora and company to make their money. But you don't just bail out on a coach and jump ship just because things get bad. See, that goes back to being a good fan. See, all this stuff goes together. Patience. Patience, patience, patience. I think Fedora's a good hire. I think good things will happen. They're learning just as much as we are learning and the team's learning. So when these things happen, they're probably not going to happen again. I really think the coaches will get their acts together. I think Fedora is a great long-term hire. Let's keep playing this out. You don't just wait until the first bad sign or the first loss or string of losses that we take and then just jump ship. That's not how things work. Sports are what have you done for me lately, but it's not snap decision like that. Ain't nobody got money like that. Nobody's balling like that. Please. Now, okay, now the future of UNC football this year. What happened last night on the field was what our team realized that they can play extremely well. They can hang in with the best of them. Miami's a top 10 foe. They were undefeated. Whether they looked it on the field yesterday for the most part, that's up for debate. But based on the way UNC has played this season and then what the product we put on our field last night, if we put that product on the field every week for the rest of the week, we go at least 5-1. The big question is, does our team show up day in and day out to play these opponents and give them the best they can give? So that's not an issue. I think this team, it sucks we lost last night. In the fashion that we lost last night, yeah, that sucks. But I think our team realized that they can play with them, play with the best. So they go out and give their all. We can have a great finish to what has been a pretty disappointing start. There's that. Last point I want to make is, rehashing the Zero Dart Thursday. Last night. See, I was there. Last night is what we want to be. Last night is the potential that UNC has a football school. We're not there. We're trying to get there. But last night was amazing. The atmosphere was amazing. Everything. The music that was playing, fireworks all over the place. The crowd was loud from the beginning up until the very end when Miami got that score. And even then, the vast majority of us stayed to the very end. And we applauded our team for giving great effort. Last night is what we want. So the potential is here. It requires patience as a fan. This stuff doesn't come overnight. We need the great personnel. We need coaches to maximize that personnel. And I think we have it, but we got to have it gel. Chemistry is also very underrated when it comes to sports. People don't think about this stuff. Like when the Lakers formed that super team last year, everybody thought the Lakers were the best team ever. And look at them. Look what happened last year. Chemistry is very important. So we gotta wait for things to gel a little bit. We're missing Gio, and that shouldn't be an excuse 6 games in, but it's showing. And we missed 3 people in our O-line, and that's also showing because we always have penalties accounting from our youngins on the front line. But things will get hashed out. Just have patience. We're getting there. We're moving in the right direction. 1-5 is not where we want to be. It's certainly a setback from last year. But last year was something special. And this year, it's a rebuilding year. And it's a year to test you as a fan as well as myself and everybody else. Stay on the train. UNC football will be fine. Go Hills.